And good evening, and we welcome you to WMUR.com for our special web-only portion of Conversation with a Candidate. Democratic presidential hopeful John Edwards with us tonight to take questions from the audience and answer those emails that may have come in from our viewers at home. Let's start again, Senator, if we can. We've talked about a number of things, but let's go ahead and get to our next question right away if we can. And could you say your name, please, and tell us your hometown?
Yeah, I'm Brian Kellett. I'm a student locally at St. Anselm College in Manchester. My question was, how could you be appealing to both Democrats and Republicans? And in turn, what specific domestic policies would help to reduce the pervasive feelings of political disunity in our country right now?
I think, first of all, the underlying basis for my campaign is a ground-up way of changing the country instead of just a top-down, which I think is what we've seen over the last several years. If you believe that to bring about the domestic policy changes that I've talked about, at least some here today, one that I haven't talked about is the issue of climate change, global warming. We can't do that. That cannot be done with just the government and just the President of the United States. It will require all Americans to participate. I mean, the fact that we are setting a bad example, biggest energy consumer on the planet, 22 million barrels of oil a day. We're 4% of the world's population, emitting 25% of the world's greenhouse gases. It's impossible for us to go to China and India and other countries in the developing world and ask them to participate in a global effort to deal with global warming, climate change. So we have to take action, which means, as a country, we're going to have to invest in clean alternative sources of energy, wind, solar, biofuels. But it also means we're going to have to be willing to change our behavior. And sometimes that's painful. I mean, we can't use energy the way we are today. We have to conserve. I think the same thing's true of health care. I don't think we can bring about the bold changes that are needed in health care without every American getting involved. And what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what party you're in. What it has to do with is Americans taking responsibility for their own country and taking action. There's nothing ideological about it, and there's nothing partisan about it. I think Americans are actually ready to be inspired again. I think Americans are looking for something big and important to be engaged in. I think there are a lot of reasons for that. Some of them are what you just asked about, the partisanship, the bickering, what they've seen happening. I think the war in Iraq has had taken a toll on the American people. And I think they're ready to be lifted up, but not just in a hypothetical way. You know, I talked about hope in the last campaign. Hope is a great thing. Hope alone doesn't bring about change. That hope has to be translated into action. And I think that's the kind of practical thinking that Americans are looking for, no matter what your party is.
Senator, did the last campaign and the closeness of it take an emotional toll on you at all?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Did it take a long time for you to kind of pick yourself up and say, I need to do this again?
Well, I got whacked twice. I got whacked by the election,
right.
And then my wife Elizabeth was diagnosed with breast cancer the day after the election.
Right.
So we went through a long period of seeing her, me seeing her, because I sat through all of her chemotherapy sessions and her doctor's appointments, etc., with her, of seeing your wife, somebody you love, go through something that difficult was actually harder for me personally. But you know, you're either going to go get in the corner and hide, or you're going to go out and try